Welcome to Hey EW. I am RJ City, and my guest is Matt Hardy. Hey.
Hey RJ, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm better now that I'm surrounded by your energy.
Oh, thank you. Ever slap a tornado?
A couple of times. It used to be my specialty. As I've gotten a little older, I've moved on to different natural disasters.
A gust, maybe? Taking it easy on the wrists?
No, we go strong with the tornadoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
we slap them and slam them.
Yeah.
Just in case you don't know what the word is. We slap tornadoes and we slam tornadoes.
You slap and slam?
Yes.
Does a tornado go up easy, or is a tornado a bit of a sandbag?
It's a bit of a sandbag. Yeah.
I'm
Tornadoes
sure,
aren't easy.
Sure, a hurricane's a bit of a sandbag sometimes too. Here's
Hurricane
a Matt fact.
is the biggest sandbag I've ever met in my life.
Well, that goes on record. Here's a Matt fact. You went to the University of North Carolina at Charlotte to major in engineering.
That is a Matt fact,
And that
not
comes
Matt
in,
fiction.
No, it's a fact. And it comes in handy when you're setting up, stacking tables and positioning ladders, and you're like, that kind of thing. Because I watch you set up stuff, and I go, there's an engineer.
Exactly. I mean, if I wasn't going to be a wrestler in the ring, I was going to build the wrestling rings.
That would have you build 2 rings in North Carolina, you're like, okay, we're done. And another Matt fact, do you know who else went to that school? American Idol runner-up Clay Aiken.
Okay.
Tell me about your party days with Clay. You two must have got up to some trouble.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty sure we were from different generations. But I'm
so
sure...
you taught him, you showed him the ropes. You said, Clay, come under my wing.
Well, that's what I do. These young kids.
Yes.
You got to take them under your wing. You got to teach them how to respect the traditions. You know, respect the process.
Right.
It's much like pro wrestling.
Yes, and then when he lost to Ruben, I'm sure you were there for him.
Oh, of course. He's a good kid, though.
Yes. Speaking about building rings, during your trampoline wrestling days, you sent an audition tape to another company down south where large people like to have fun, let's just say, and your name was High Voltage.
Correct.
Then they steal the name from you.
Yes.
They have a tag team called High Voltage. Have you ever run into rage or chaos and said, hey, what the hell?
No, I haven't, but I would like to.
Still?
Rage, chaos, if
call
you're
them
out there,
Yeah.
you know, you still owe me for gimmick infringement.
Yeah, I'm sure Tony will book them. This will be a good feud. Your first televised match was against Nikolai Volkov.
That is correct.
What did you learn from him?
A very funny story about Nikolai Volkov. So it's about my 9th or 10th match in an actual solid full ring.
Yeah, because you were a trampoline boy. You were Cirque du Soleil. Look what I can do.
At first, but when we first started wrestling, it was a half real ring, half trampoline in the middle.
Right.
So we did probably 7, 8, 9, 10 matches on that. Then we had regular matches.
And then Nikolai Volkov was like the man that gravity remembered.
Yes, but also my first match against Nikolai Volkov, I remember Tony Gurria was the agent, and he came up to me and said, I'll tell you what, kid, this is on live TV. He said, if you mess this up tonight, you will never ever come back here again. Your career is over. Do not mess up. Nikolai comes up to me shortly thereafter. He goes, oh, hey, kid, very easy. He said, we're in live match. He said, I mess up all the time. Don't worry, no sweat. And I'm going, oh my God, what am I gonna do? You know, they just told me if I mess up, I'll never come back. And he said, oh, we're gonna mess up because I mess up every match.
Right.
So that was quite the nerve wracking.
Yeah, and they didn't realize Nikolai
At
Volkov
18
was
years young.
French either. You've gone through so many versions of yourself.
I have.
Which one are we on now? And when you do a version and then you do another version, then you go back to the version, is that still the same version? Or is it a new version of that version?
Right now we're in version over prom.
You're inverted.
Yeah, but it's over. It's like the prom's here, it's over prom.
It's over prime?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. You're talking about math. That's what we're doing. Is that what
Oh,
we're doing? Like a prime number kind of thing?
Middle-aged and crazy.
Okay,
whatever.
yes,
You know,
fair
there's
enough.
prom and then there's over prom.
You've been woken, you've been broken. When are we going to get poking Matt Hardy? You walk around with a big stick or something. Okay, you all right?
Choking Matt Hardy.
Oh, really good. Really good.
We
What
might
a
get poking
talent.
down the road.
I worry about your ability to spell. Because you came up in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yes.
Everybody's spelling things with X's and Z's.
Oh, boy.
And then around 2003, everyone went, that's stupid, let's just stop. Is it a hard habit to break for you?
Not terribly hard, but there's a lot of times I'll misspell words, and fortunately, spell check's there for me.
Yes.
I'll put a Z instead of an S.
Yeah. And
Sometimes
then you go, like that.
sometimes I mix up my plurals. Ho!
I'm back, baby, that kind of thing.
Ho with a Z.
You have a very famous brother that also wrestles, Barry Hardy.
Yes.
He was in Enhancement Talent. He teamed with Dwayne Gill. Do you ever think we'll see him in AEW?
Well, hopefully we'll bring Uncle in one day.
Uncle, he's your uncle. Oh, okay.
Metaphorically.
Sure. Oh, like the brother way? When wrestlers
yeah.
say, oh, he's my brother, and it really means this is someone I don't like.
Yeah. What's up? How you doing, Uncle? Good to see you, Uncle.
I see.
You know, that's how we greet.
Yeah, and he calls you nephew or something.
Yeah.
Remember when you did your first cinematic match, and everyone was like, this is stupid. And then the pandemic happened, and then you were like, oh, it's not so stupid now, huh?
Got their ass.
Yeah, you were like the Brian De Palma kind of thing.
Here's the curve.
Yeah.
I was over here ahead of it.
Yes, and you're like, now you appreciate me when all you have is a GoPro in a backyard.
Exactly,
Now you'll
yeah.
take me seriously.
Yeah. When the world shuts down, here's how you do a wrestling.
Yes. You were also a pioneer of drones in wrestling.
I was.
Do you think a decade from now, there'll be so many wrestlers using drones in their matches that you'll be like, hey, kids, slow it down. Make the drone mean something.
Probably so. They'll definitely be using it for that beautiful shot, that beautiful overhead shot.
Yes. They think they need some better drone psychology.
I'm still mad at Jericho.
Because of the drone thing. Or because he drones.
He killed my drone.
Yeah.
So I'm still very upset.
And rest in peace.
Thank you. Rest in peace, Vanguard. We miss you.
He's up there. I guess flew away, I guess.
He's up there with all the other drones, brother.
Well, then he's not broken.
I mean,
He would be in the ground if he was dead. If he flew away, he's still working.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
figuratively.
exactly. Caught you there.
Metaphorically.
If I had to take a dip in the lake of reincarnation,
Yes.
who would I become?
Dalton Castle.
Oh, okay. I'll take
You like
it.
how quick that answer was?
Yeah, that was really, he's kind of like the opposite end.
Peacock,
He's the
yeah.
bizarro me.
Yeah.
You know, if Brutus Beefcake fell in, he would probably just drown. They wouldn't know what to do with him. They're like, the lake would just explode or something. That whole broken universe,
Yes.
was it the peak of creative expression in pro wrestling, or were you just make it up as you went along?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
We were definitely making it up as we went along, but we tried to have some meaning behind the madness.
Yes.
But I will tell you this. My first run as Broken Matt Hardy was the most fun I've ever had in my career.
And now you're at what, a jog or a sprint?
Yeah, I'm at a light sprint.
Okay, a little just to get the sweat going. One moment that really inspired me was your performance on That 70s Show. Any memories of Wilder Valderrama?
Everybody was cool on the show.
Yeah.
And I do remember I was wrestling my brother in a choreographed match, not like real wrestling,
Sure.
not like AEW, a choreographed match for television.
Yeah.
And we had to do these moves, and it ended with a big backdrop on him, like 10 times. So obviously that was pretty, and it was like shooting back to back to back to back to
Right.
back to back to back. So we did 10 matches in one, and ended up getting the 45 seconds of footage.
You're not actually credited in it, so they must have
know.
thought it was a little sloppy.
Well, but it was our first gig too.
Well, and then you, boom, took off. And now when you see...
it was a launching pad.
Yes, I'll say. That's where I remember you most from.
You know, before we got a big push with
Yes.
WWE, I was gonna sign with That 70s Show and be a regular.
That's fantastic.
Returning character.
And the Red Foreman little faction there?
Yeah, exactly.
Great. You were also on an episode of Fear Factor, and you won.
Yes, fear was not a factor for me.
Very good. Did you have an inkling then that the host would turn out to be such a lightning rod of controversy?
No idea.
No? When you were hanging from a helicopter or drinking blended up spleens, you never thought, hey, maybe this is a guy I shouldn't be listening to? Maybe he's giving me bad advice?
I didn't know then, but if I could have seen the future.
Yeah.
Wow, things changed quite a bit.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, that guy. Give him a bigger platform. And everyone's gonna be drinking spleens. So bizarre. You have so many children.
I do. A gaggle of
Are
children.
you trying to start a faction?
Yes.
Run a promotion?
Well, if I get one more, we got a basketball team. So
That's
we're
great.
We're working it out. We're gonna first go
The
to
Hoopin' Hardys.
a basketball team, and then we'll maybe shoot for a baseball team after that.
And then no wrestling?
With 9
You're gonna steer
starters.
them away?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna be like Fritz Von Erich.
Steer them away.
I'm gonna make all my money off my boys.
Okay.
The girl, maybe not so much.
No, maybe not so much. I understand that. Do you ever look back and realize how little faith they originally had in the Hardys because your theme music was stock music that you could also hear in commercials on MTV?
It still is stock music.
I know, but
So
you
there's
really
very
took-
little faith in the Hardys.
But if I came out there and my theme was generic rock beat 12, I'd quit. You know? Aren't you just like- But do you ever put on the TV back then and hear a Stridex commercial
Oh, it's
and
on
you're like,
everywhere.
that's my song.
Yeah.
But now you've blocked them from it.
Well, it wasn't very important to us.
No, but now you've really turned it around. Twist of fate.
Yes,
Do you believe in destiny?
I do. I think there are some things that are destined to happen.
I once ran into Greg Valentine at a hardware store.
That was certainly destiny. Kismet.
Think about that. I know you also host a podcast with
What was
Idris
he
Elba.
What was he buying that day?
Hammers.
Okay. Just checking.
I know you also host a podcast with Idris Elba called The Extreme Life. And it's so interesting that a wrestler would have a podcast.
It is interesting. It's almost like an anomaly in this day and age.
And what do you do? Oh, that ladder was high. That table hurt. That kind of thing?
I try and give a lot of insight.
Yeah, so what I just said.
Really,
The ropes were really bouncy, and then they tightened them, and they were tighter.
What you just said.
Yeah.
But I try and be. I think when it comes to podcasting, I'm one of the few guys that is still actually active on a current roster, a still active performer, and I'm able to get in here and give insight into this stuff, and then say things like that. The ropes were really tall.
Yeah.
The ladder was really high. This was a very hard fall through this table.
Yeah.
So, and people will enjoy that.
Yeah,
They enjoy
I
that
think so.
insight from a current performer.
I certainly try to. Well, this has been a frolic.
Oh well, thank you.
And-
I love
and-
frolicking.
Good.
Down by the riverside mainly.
Oh, wow. What a musical mind you have. I want to say, I think you're Matt Hardy version fun, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
And before we go, you do this wonderful, beautiful yell before you do your leg drop, before you do your big moves. And I had perhaps thought, it's always the same note, and I love it.
Yeah.
Maybe you could do it, and I could perhaps harmonize on top of it.
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay, you ready? You need a minute?
We have to lift our hands too. You have to do the sounds.
Okay, is this like a Boy Scout
Just
thing?
act like they're guns. You ready? Here we go. You have good lungs on you.